Hey everybody, it is Lorelia coming to you today. The topic is buying a house versus business credit. Now, you may not know this, but if this is the first time you are watching me, I'm currently streaming from YouTube and Facebook. I am not new to the conversation of credit. Been talking about credit for many years. And so, what I'm going to talk to you today is a conversation that I had with someone earlier this week. And I think it should be talked about because a lot of people are thinking that business credit is an easy fix for a bigger problem. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. Business credit is not a band aid. As much as you have people who are going to tell you that all you need is a net 30, an LLC, and a business bank account, I'm here to tell you that only thing that's going to get you is some gas cards and some office supplies with some net 30 accounts. And I know it hurts. So, primarily, what I do is I help real estate investors or individuals who are looking to leverage business credit to invest in real estate. And what that looks like is that I help clients create a six-figure funding entity that will allow them to get into the real estate game, whether that is to expand their portfolio, to be able to acquire more assets, or just to be a first time person. That is what I do. So it's much bigger than, hey, help me get a business credit card. It's about creating a fundable entity, business entity, whereas you will have six figures in funding to be able to go into the real estate market and be able to leverage it to buy real estate. So, buying a house versus real estate. I mean, buying a house versus business credit. So, I tell people that there are some times when I may can't help them. Unfortunately, do not work with everyone. So, with that being said, there are some people who come to me, and I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm not going to lead you on, lead you astray, sell you something that I know that it just isn't going to work for you. And so, for some people, depending on where they are financially, and I'm going to give an example of that. A person who is below a 650 credit score. Now, that person may have a job, the debt to income ratio is not out of whack. And literally, they can be able to qualify for an FHA mortgage and be able to acquire and invest in real estate. It is even sweeter if they get a multi-family property. And I know, as I talk to people all over the country, multi-family means many things to different people. Like where I'm at in this part of the country, we don't have a lot of duplexes, but we do have multi-families, homes where there may be 3 levels or 4 levels. So imagine you having a 650 credit score, I mean, below a 650 credit score, but you do have a solid job and you don't have any crazy things on your credit, but you're at the point where you are rebuilding. And even though you are at that rebuilding stage, there is opportunities for you to be able to go and acquire and purchase real estate. And FHA may be the best thing for you because I did a video on this and I said, getting access to business credit, especially when you get to over 50, over 60, over 70, is going to be much harder than you buying a house. And one may say, well, why is that, Lorraine? Why is it that one can actually buy a home and be a homeowner where they own an asset as opposed to someone trying to get access to unsecured debt? Is because, and I've talked about this before, Unsecured debt is not secured against anything. So a bank is really taking a very big picture at your fund, bigger than credit score. I know people will tell you it's a credit score. No, it's bigger than that. It's your financial behavior. It is the mix of credit you have. Do you even have the experience? Meaning, have you managed credit of a certain magnitude to be able to get more? And for some people who are in the rebuilding stage under 650 credit score, they're not there yet. They may have just, gotten credit repair and they have very low credit cards. And the good thing is that even that person who has the small credit card limits can enter into the home buying situation. And so this is a clear example where business credit is not for some people. Because let me tell you, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'd rather tell you the real truth, the hard truth, than a soft lie. These are the advantages for the person who may be under, like I said, under the 650 credit score. They have a solid job history. They have a solid W 2. They're a W 2 wage earner. They can show proof of that. And what's sweeter is that if they get look for a home where they can show that the rental income may exceed their mortgage payment, along with putting the 3% down of FHA. And I'm no FHA expert, but I know enough to say this is a better way to go, because there are three advantages for doing that strategy as opposed to a person who is not in a position to really get the very high funding approvals and business credit. And I know that that's going to be a sore note for some people, because I know that there's people out here that are selling individuals on that they're going to get all this funding, and they're not in a position to get it. And that is why it's so easy to fall prey to scams and schemes and someone telling you that there is a quicker way. And I pride myself with telling people it is better to anchor yourself financially in a position where it will reap a harvest way longer than you and your children and their children. See, most people are teaching you, and these are the people who are telling you that you don't need nothing. All you need is a pulse, an LLC, a business bank account, and a Dun and Bradstreet profile. And the gates of heaven are going to open up for you. And that right there will lead a person with them spinning their wheels and they lose confidence. And that is why, for a person who may be at that stage where they may not be ready to get the high unsecured funding approvals, there is something for them to do, which is to look at FHA, because there's three things that's going to happen when you do that. And I wrote them down so I wouldn't remember. The first thing is going to give you financial confidence. And why is it going to give you financial confidence? Is because now you have transitioned from either being a renter, or if maybe you were living with someone, to now being a homeowner. So automatically you've increased your net worth. So that's the advantage. Number two, you get a diversified mix of credit. So now, even though you were in the area of where your credit only had those low performing credit cards, once the account becomes seasoned, meaning your home purchase, seasoned meaning you've at least been paying on it for 6 months. Now the opportunities for you to get higher personal credit limits are now exceedingly abundant for you, because you are proving to FICO and not to the bureaus, because remember, the bureaus are the ones who hold the information, FICO is the one who does the scoring. So now you're showing FICO that now you have a mix of credit, and that now you can show that you can now take on more credit because now you are a homeowner. So, number one, increase financial confidence. Number two, diversify mix of credit. That now you can you can get access to certain things that you can't get at even for someone who has the 700 credit score, who recently went through credit repair, and all they have is a First Premier and an Open Sky card. This strategy can even work for them because they don't have a good credit mix, and they're out there trying to get $80,000 in funding, and it's just not going to happen. And my final thing is number three, rental income. That's if you use a strategy whereas you are buying something that is a multi-property. I understand, in this country, multifamily means many things to different people in different states, but we are talking more than one unit. So that could be a duplex, triplex, whatever, fourplex, depending on where you are in the country. They may exist, they may not, but we're talking about more than one unit. So you're getting rental if you do number three, where you are getting a investing in a asset, whereas it's more than one unit. Now you're getting rental income, which allows you to take part in the IRS code of depreciation, because you can write some things off as you are receiving that rental income. So now you have positioned yourself and positioned your family, whereas now you're off to the races. And now you can do some big things in terms of business credit. Because what a lot of people don't understand is that there is a reason why systematically many of us who look like me, African American, were left out of um, the asset accumulation opportunity. It just happened. There's a reason why African Americans were not given the opportunity to be able to take part in purchasing assets. And although I know historically there have been some people who have been acquired things, but I'm talking about the majority as a whole, because there is a total shortcut to you increasing your net worth, and in terms of you increasing where you want to be financially when you own something. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between buying a house versus business credit. It all depends on the person, but I feel like all is not lost, because some people may not be in the position. Because I know last Friday I did the analyzing deals where I showed client of mine was able to purchase two homes with business funding, no mortgage, and many people are saying, well, how can that work for me? And it can work for some people, and then for some people there is work that has to be done, but there's another way. At the end of the day, we will meet at the same finish line, but it's just that my way to get there is going to be different than Alice's way to get there. That's going to be different than John's way to get there. But at the end of the day, we can all get there, because even with using that strategy, it still can lead you into eventually getting the business funding that you are looking for. And now you are at a much better place to do it. So, that, my friends, is just a little tip of the iceberg of some of the things that I will be sharing next Saturday, the 29th, at the workshop, my online virtual workshop. And so that starts at 9, ends in the afternoon, and I'm going to be sharing different ways of leverage, how you can literally take credit and be able to invest in real estate. And so a lot of times people think that just show me how to get to the money and I'll figure out the strategy. And my thing is this doesn't work like that. The strategy comes first because there's a plenty of people who have the money still can't put the strategy together. People reach out to me all the time. Oh, I have some business credit. Oh, I got this amount of business credit. Okay, well then, then put the strategy together then. And they are left with still don't know how to do it. And then you have those people like, yeah, 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 I done bought some properties and everything, but I still don't know how to, put, the business, the funding entity together to be able to get lines of credit or whatever. I know that. I know that. Because it's much bigger than just get me the money. So that, my friends, is just, like I said, wanted to do a video on it because it was a topic that came up early this week and I thought other people would benefit from it, because at the end of the day there is always 100 ways to skin a cat. There's not one. It's just that what I help people do with the business funding, it's just one way. But there are tons of people out there who can still be able to help you get to the same goal, but it may just look different. And I just shared with you a way that it looks different. And I don't even do FHA. I don't do FHA mortgages, but I'm just giving you an example of how buying a house, which should be a multifamily because you want to get that rental income, can still get you to where you want with the six figures in funding. So once again, this is Lorelia signing off. If you're watching the replay, let me know your thoughts. If you want to learn more about the event on the 29th, go to www.lorelia.com.